does, good people? My name is Terry Ivy and I'm sitting in for Thayo Amani and the show is Talk to Senje. On today's topic, we are focusing on girls and alcohol. I hope you'll be my guest and you will enjoy. So let me introduce Senje on the show. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Ivy.
Yeah.
Today we are talking about girls and alcohol. And as you are aware, we can't limit or control our children. Much more in the show. Welcome.
Yeah, that is what it is, people. So, Senje, now we're in this generation where we can't, where you're saying we can't control our girls, and you know they see these things.
Yeah.
If not at home, in school or elsewhere, they can see it. They can. Alcohol is accessible.
Yeah.
You can buy it anywhere.
Yes.
So what do you
get
think?
freely.
Yeah, you can even get it freely. Yeah, kuna pombe ya free.
Yeah.
So what do you think about this whole issue? What do you think? What are your thoughts about girls and alcohol, you know, and the whole topic around it?
You know, one thing I know, someone cannot just wake up and decide to take alcohol. They learn from somewhere. Yeah?
Yeah.
They learn from others. They learn from parents. Do you know there are parents who take alcohol while their kids are watching?
I know.
There are those even stored in their homes. So what will make your daughter not to drink alcohol? Because she sees dad or mom taking alcohol. Another thing they learn from the institutions of higher learning, yeah? A kid comes from home not knowing even the taste of alcohol. But because they are free and they have the freedom and no one is watching, they start now what we call practicing, as in inaitwaje kufanya testing.
It's called FOMO, fear of missing out.
Yeah. And then because you don't want to be left out, to look like the odd one, where pia unaanza. And then we have these party things. Yeah? Bash, hizi bash ndio wengine pia wanaonja pombe for the first time.
For sure.
Ameenda bash akiwa soba, then anatoka huko akiwa hata ajielewi alifika nyumbani vipi, you know. And whatever happens when these girls are drunk, they can't even know because they are not conscious, you know. You can be raped when you're drunk. You can drink zile zina mess hata na fertility level yako ya uzazi, you know. And suppose if a girl is pregnant and they take a lot of alcohol, this one is also discouraged by the medics, avoiding alcohol when you're pregnant. So this issue of alcoholism in girls, I think parents should talk much about it.
So let me catch you on that, Senje. You're saying that there's a part you said that these kids are learning. Do you think we are a society that has really lazied around, or like has just, you know, lazied around in the upbringing of our children? Do you think we are a generation of I don't care what happens, or do you think we are a generation of rather like tomorrow will take care of itself when it comes to bringing up our children? Because you know, you see, I've seen people like people who own bars in the houses, parents who just come home drunk, and the kids are there watching. Yeah, and now they start consuming. Do you think like we are lazing around as a generation in terms of bringing up our children?
It's both ways. It's both ways. We have parents who are that type, don't care whatever they do while drunk. They don't even care, you know. And we have that type of parenting where they really tried. They tried to bring up their children knowing the rights and wrongs, you know. And there's that generation where despite the fact that they were brought up well or knowing the dangers or the do's and don'ts of alcohol, when they're outside there where the parents are not seeing, they can do it, yeah? They engage in all sorts of evil things. For example, when a daughter is away in college or university, does the mother know what the daughter is doing? No. For example, you parents are out, maybe drinking, and the kids are left at home. For example, even on weekends, they start drinking your alcohol in the house. So it's both ways. We have parents who have tried, and we have parents who have just let loose their children. Yeah.
And what are your thoughts on now let's now assume like girls are now taking alcohol. Now let's say this is an addict. Now we have an addict in the house and all that. Do you think rehabilitation is the real deal for someone to stop addiction, or what do you think?
Okay, rehabilitations centers can help, but when this kid is now out of the center, the follow-up, what happens after the rehab will determine whether this girl will stop alcohol or not. So it boils back to the society. We need to be the support system for alcoholic girls, you know. So you don't just take them to the rehab, then after that
they come back, they meet
they
alcohol.
will continue. In fact, it will be worse, because I've seen it happen. There are those who come back from the rehab and continue now in full force. So it boils back to the society, to the family, to friends. You know, good friends will help you out of alcoholism. But I usually see some friends who will cheer you up.
Yeah, take a sip.
Drink silly, do the silly things, you know.
I think to add on that, we can say like after rehab, what you need is discipline. Without the discipline of now resisting alcohol or marijuana or anything, you're still just gonna go back from 100 to 0.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and also, I want to ask you now in regards to parents and now what happens at home? When now marriages break, now the kids are left with either the mother or the father.
Yeah.
Do you think it is also a factor that's going to, because now, you know, we are left with one parent. Maybe the parents' work is just to feed you, look for food, for school fees, they don't have time. So most of this time you are alone, and maybe you've seen your parents fight in court over and over, or even just at home.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the only comfort you have is alcohol. Do you think it's also a factor?
Yes, it happens. Most alcoholic girls, or even boys, a good percentage is caused by disunity or disharmony in the family. Psychologically, parental conflicts affect children. And the only way this kid will feel like relieving their stress or now running away from the realities of life is by taking what? Alcohol. So parents should just know that whatever they do, whatever happens between them, affects their children either positively or negatively. You know, you may be fighting. Kama kawaida ndovu wakipigana nini umia nyasi, isn't it? Your fights are affecting our children negatively. They'll start drinking alcohol, and because you people are too busy fighting each other, you may never even realize your kid is into drugs and alcohol. So hata mkipigana, do it away from the eyes of your children. Wacha wasijue what you guys are doing, because psychologically huyu mtoto anaenda kutafuta kitulizo, na kitulizo mingi anatafuta wapi? Kwa pombe. Sasa ile hana pesa ya pombe. What do they do?
They steal.
Yeah.
So that is it for part 1, good people. We're gonna come back with part 2, and now on part 2 we are tackling the consequences of alcohol and girls in the society. Stay tuned. Don't go further, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Uvumbi Radio, all our social media handles at uvumbiradio.co.ke. We'll be back shortly. Thank you. Welcome back, good people. This is Talk to Senje, and we are back with part 2. So before we went on a break, I had told you that when we come back, we'll talk about the consequences and maybe possible solution to girls and alcohol. So Senje, now we've seen causes, we've seen what happens around these girls with alcohol thing. So now when these girls go to party, and now so many things happen, you know, when you're drunk, sometimes there are those that can control themselves and there are those that cannot. So many things happen, rape, others get beaten up. So I'll touch specifically on rape. Now this girl is from the party, she has been raped. She's very naive. She's very frustrated. And now she's just in her own world. Two things might happen. The rape alone and a rape that comes with pregnancy. What do you do from now, from the bash? Now you are back into your own world. Rape. One, either rape alone, rape with pregnancy, and many other diseases.
Venereal diseases, and AIDS. Cancer,
STIs, name them.
People
Depression.
forget.
Depression comes also with the stress.
People forget.
It is just a one night of fun, but then you go home with these consequences.
Disaster.
Yeah, disaster.
It happens. It happens because when you're drunk, you are like subconscious or no conscious at all. You're not conscious. So the only solution to this is girls to avoid alcohol, especially when you're in company of strangers, not even strangers. We have
Even the
team
people
fisi, amekuwa akikuvizia tu kama fisi, then amekupata ukiwa
anapata chance ya kupea pombe.
In that condition, anapita na wewe. But you will never even know because you don't know what is happening to you. And maybe there's no one who can face you and tell you, you know what happened. Ulidandiwa na fulani. Because you have bad friends who cannot help you in such a situation. In fact, it is friends who will let you kwa hiyo ofisi. Anaongeleshwa akaenda naambia, hey, niachie. Hata kama ni rafiki alikuwa anakuguard kwa hizo bash, wanakuachilia. Halafu you will live with regrets because whatever happened to you, you can't even recount. Haya, umetoka, by the time you get sober, umepita ile time limit ya kuprevent pregnancy, umepita ile time limit ya kwenda kuprevent infections za AIDS,
STIs.
Cancer imeingia, people don't know that one of the ways in which cancer is transmitted is through sex.
I'm just knowing it today as well.
HPV can be transmitted through sex.
Okay.
So, wasichana wachana na pombe. I think it's just I can't say an African, but even in other societies, a woman who is drunk is a disgrace to the society. Because when you're drunk, there are a lot of things you can't do as a lady. Another thing, the society needs now to kuambia wasichana reality. We beat around the bushes and we don't hit the nails on the head. Kwamba girls wacha pombe. Hatusemi ati wanaume wakunywe peke yao, but hata hao wako na their effects, the negative effects of alcoholism. So ladies with alcohol, remember, pombe tena, and when you're drunk, you can sip from any glass or bottle. Kupata cancer za mdomo pia it is possible. Infertility yako pia inakuwa affected. So there is no positive side or positive effect of alcoholism in ladies. That is my view.
Okay, so I'll ask you this. When you've said that, in an African society, a lady who is just drunk is not just, like there's this, like you can't be drunk and you're a mother or a lady. So there's this meme that I came across that where it says, ati hawa wasichana tunakunywa now, nani atawaoa? Do you think it's so true? Ama cause I saw like the comments, there are mixed reaction. Some people are saying, no, I drink and I'm still married to my husband of blah blah blah, and some men were actually saying that it's the truth. These girls we go out and drink with, nani atawaoa?
But these men are very unfair because wewe unataka kutumia wa wengine, then you look for a clean one
ask ati nani atawaoa
to marry. Do you know the same thing will come back to your daughters or even your sisters? You may think you're misusing others, but the same evil will get back to your daughter. So the best thing, enda nae bash, mwambie no, you take alcohol free drinks. Then those who want to drink, the men, they can drink. But it boils back to our morals. A morally upright man will not take you to a party and let you drink yourself silly. They'll have something to do. They'll do something to you to avoid you kwanza hata kutoa manguo. We have seen those who get drunk and wanatoa hata manguo. I love parties personally. I go to parties, several. Na hiyo sikatai. And whatever happens in these parties, I'm telling you, huwa saa ingine ni aibu. Ni aibu sana. So for ladies with alcohol, to me is a no, personally.
So let's also narrow down to married ladies. Yeah, I know a few people, or I've seen a few people where the husband and the wife, they actually buy a drink and they drink in the house. Kids in, or even kids not in. But then this is a husband and wife, they're consuming alcohol. What's your take on it? Because now I'm married to Mr. X, and Mr. X is comfortable. I even buy alcohol, he comes to the house, we drink.
And kids are watching.
Kids are maybe asleep, let us assume. But now we drink in our house.
But
we go
do you
to sleep,
think there's
wake up.
any secret in your house that your kids may never know? Whether you hide those alcoholic drinks where in your house, your kids will know. Yeah? And you are the teacher to your children. When they grow up and become real drunkards, do you know you cannot even correct them? They'll be like, but we saw you people do it, and
Yeah,
we
we saw
learned
that
from
and
you people. So, anyway, people have their own opinion. People have a right to decide, what they want to do with their lives. But for the sake of children, alcohol in the house, to me is a no. Wines and spirits in the house, to me is a no. And sometimes you have visitors. During that time, maybe, let your children know that you bought for the visitors. But at mimi na dadi tu uko na pombe kwa nyumba, my children will know the alcohol is there. You will not hide it for long, and they'll start drinking even in the house. Yeah.
Okay, so like now you're saying that in the house, no alcohol.
Personal views.
So and then what's your take on now, on a society where now we cannot resist? But maybe I'd rather say I can control myself when drunk. Like I can't like quit completely, like siezi acha kabisa. I must have one for the road or something, but I can control myself.
How far is control?
Like hata kama nikiwa kwa bash, I won't like drink myself out.
You never know when you're going overboard.
You know, there are people who can manage alcohol. That's the term, for lack of a better term.
Na hiyo ndio wasichana ujidanganya. Mimi najijua, naweza jicontrol. Then after that, blackout.
So your take as Senje is avoid alcohol kabisa kabisa.
Girls with alcohol, to me is a no.
So that is Senje, and what Senje is basically saying is no. No one for the road, no nothing, just quit alcohol and just be a morally upright African girl. Okay, those are her thoughts, but you can let us know about what you think in the comment section, on our YouTube channel at Uvumbi Radio, or on our Instagram uvumbiradio.co.ke, or on our Facebook at Uvumbi Radio. Please let us know what you think about the whole discussion. Give us your views. Senje has given us her views. She says no. What is your take? That will be all for today, and I thank you for tuning in. Please see you next time. Bye.